Hi there everyone, my name is Marnie, I'm from Clivias for Africa and welcome to today's Clivia Talk. I've got a plant that's got an offset and it's time for me to take this offset off the mother plant. I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing that's very important is to get all your stuff ready before you start. You don't want to run around every few minutes and go and fetch something out of the storeroom or wherever. So what I normally do is I just think about what do I need, put everything together, and then you can just get to it. Okay, the first thing obviously is the plant. So I'm just going to show you here. So there we go. It's a very nice Japanese plant called Tori, and you can see there it's got a small plant on the side. Let me just see if I can. Yeah, there you go. There you can see the small plant here on the side. Okay, just for in case you were wondering, these rocks that's in the pot, this parent plant about a year ago had a bit of problems with its roots. So I treated it and I planted it over into this pot, and the plant was a little bit loose. So what I've done was I put a rock here on the front and one at the back. So if you do that, you just keep the plant stable. So just for in case you were wondering about that. Okay, so that's the thing. We need the plant that we're going to split. The next thing obviously is we need the medium that we're going to use to plant our plant in, and we need 2 pots. So I've got 2 pots here. I'm trying to see the sizes. This one is 17 centimeters and this one is 19 centimeters. So I'm going to put the mother plant in here. I'm going to put the baby in here in a 17 centimeter pot. This is big enough for the offset to grow in up to a point where it can start flowering, and even thereafter, because they're small plants. Next thing that's important is a tag where you're going to write the name of the offset to put it into the pot, that you can remember what plant it is. The mother plant's got its own tag already, that's why I only got one permanent marker which I write on here. And then I've got the fertilizer. Just want to show you here. I use Osmocote and I make my own mix of different Osmocote products. Now this is going to be mixed into the medium, into the soil. Let's just put that aside, and then the last thing that I've got, second last thing that I've got here is a bucket of some flour of sulfur. So if that offset is loose from the mother plant, it's going to be very easy. You can just sort of pull it and it will come loose. There's no wounds on any of the plants, but if I have to cut the offset of the mother plant, sometimes they attach to each other and they're not loose. If I have to cut, there's a small wound there, and normally I just put this flour of sulfur on there to make sure that there's no fungi or bacteria going into that wound, which potentially can kill your plant. So, and then the last thing, let's just take it out of my pocket. You need a good pocket knife or any sharp knife that's cleaned, for in case you need to cut the offset off. So let's get to it. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the medium out of the bag, and I'm going to mix my fertilizer into that medium, and I'm also going to get my pots ready. Here they are. Okay, so let me just adjust this a little bit downwards so that we can actually see what I'm doing here. All right, there we go. There we go. I use this Clivia mix from Bark Unlimited. It's got a lot of bark in, it's very well composted, and that's what I like about it. Okay. think this should be enough. Just to show you here, it's a very nice mix here. You can actually see it's got some nice big pieces of bark and some other soil. Very nice mix. I find this to be a great mix. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Osmo coat. I'm going to put some of that on here. I just I never measure it, I just gauge it like that. So there you go. And then what I do is I actually mix this into my medium. I can actually put a little bit more. There we go. I'm just gonna mix that in here. Okay, there we go. So I can put the fertilizer away. Okay, let's get to the plant. First thing, I'm going to remove these two rocks here. This plant recovered very well. It is tight in this pot. Okay, so let's just get this. Okay, so normally what I do is I will just sort of squeeze this pot a little bit, and then there we go. It just comes out very easily. So there you can see the little offset sitting, very nice. All right, so let's remove the medium softly that we can. Okay, another thing that's very important that I actually forgot to mention is that if you have a look at this offset, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 leaves. Now I prefer to not take an offset off if it doesn't have at least 9 leaves. 9, 10 leaves normally for me is a good number of leaves. It means that the plant is mature enough and it will hopefully have its own roots to grow quick. If you take an offset off too early, then there's a risk that that offset might just stand still for a year or 2, 3 before it actually starts growing, which is definitely not ideal. So okay, great stuff. So there you can see. So yeah, we've got some very nice healthy roots here, and the most important thing is we've got some roots on the offset, which is very important. So in this case, this offset is actually still attached quite strongly here to the mother plant, so we're gonna have to cut it loose from the mother plant and before we plant it. So yeah, there's some really nice roots on these plants. Okay, so there we go. So I think the first thing is to just open it up a little bit here so that one can see very nicely where this offset, I don't know if you can see here, where this offset baby is still attached to the mother plant. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and I am going to just cut this offset off of the mother plant, and I'm cutting it off right against the mother plant. There we go. So you can actually see there, it's just a small little wound there where this plant was cut, where the offset was cut off. And here's the offset. It's actually just got 2 leaves, which is not 100% ideal, but it will be fine. It's a nice little offset, and I'm sure it's gonna be okay. This one has got only 2 roots, but they're very healthy roots, and I think it's going to be fine. So, okay, there's the mother plant. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to just put a little bit of flour of sulfur on the wound here, just to make sure that I seal it nicely and that there's no. So just to show you, I just rub a little bit of that onto the wound area to just make sure that it's not susceptible to some rot, some hojas going in there. That's the mother plant. We have to do the same with the small plant. There you go. Just need to do that. These two roots are not 100% ideal, but in order to just continue with the video, I thought let me plant this one. And okay, there we go. There we go. Nicely sealed with a flour of sulfur that will make sure the plant stays healthy. Okay, let's start with the baby and let's plant this one. So I'm just going to start to fill up the pot here. Okay, there we go. There's the little plant in the pot, and what I'm going to do here is, because this plant does not have a lot of its own roots, I'm just going to put in some small rocks that I've got here, just to keep this plant in position for the next 6 months to a year. So I'm just going to do that. This will just make sure that the plant stays stable in the pot while it's busy. And there we go. There's the little plant. And let's do the mother plant. Oh, I used the wrong pot for the baby. Let me just get another pot. Okay, I'm back with another bigger pot for the mother plant. Same thing, just gonna hold the plant there with the one hand and fill it up with a medium with the other hand. Push it in a little bit here. Sorry, I'm actually in the way here. Let me just do this. Okay, just gonna show you how deep I plant this to give you a good indication. That's a good depth, so you can see the medium is just sort of below where the leaves start. Never put the medium up to here, that part of this leaves are under the medium, and you also don't want the plant to stand out too far. So there we go. Yeah, and then the last thing, I'm going to put the tag in here to make sure we know what the plant is. And then we're going to just lift this up. There we go. So there's the two plants, the offset and the mother plant. So there we go. And now the only last thing is I'm going to put them back under the shade nets and I'm going to water them, and then I hope they're going to grow quickly. Hopefully next year both these plants are going to flower here at Clivius for Africa. I hope you enjoyed this video, and go and take some offsets of your plants. And remember to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Clevias for Africa. Also remember to press on the notification button, if there's, with my dirty fingers, on the notification button, to make sure that you are informed of any new videos in future on Clevias for Africa. Share this video with your friends. Until next time, bye bye.